Hi, I'm Margaret Miller Guide, and today I'm here to show you how to roll your quads. And that is one of the best ways to keep your quads healthy. So if you've never rolled on a foam roller, but you might have seen some of the athletes doing it, know that you too can roll your quads. And all you need is a simple rolling pin. Doesn't have to be marble or anything else. But what I do like is that the roller rolls independent of the handles. As we begin, if you are following along and you are finding it way too tender, then know that you just have to take a blanket or a towel between you and your thighs to make it comfortable. So it's very important that as you're rolling, that it feels comfortable. You don't want to beat up your leg muscles because they already feel beat up if they're tender, they already feel like you haven't been looking after them. So this is that moment where you get to treat your thigh muscles just like you would your kitty. You know, you want to create a purring element. That's what I say to my clients. If you had a cat that was tender, you wouldn't go in and, I'm going to just, massage you and I want you to purr, is that you're going to start real gentle and you want to go to the point where you go, oh, that feels so nice. Now, couple of things. So we're going to scan the muscles. But as we're scanning the muscles, we don't want to lose track or awareness of what we're doing with our posture. So we want to move from our hips. So this is, we've talked about this in standing, where we're hinging from the hips. This is important for keeping your spine protected, one. But two, the other important thing about hinging from our hips is it allows us to use our body weight to transfer through the rolling pin as opposed to just our arms. Oftentimes if I have clients rolling their quads and they go, I don't really have tender quads, I don't feel anything, it's because I know their arms aren't strong enough on their own just to give a good amount of pressure through the thighs. So you really need to be sitting tall, having your elbows by your side, your hands on the rolling pin. You want your knees as far apart as you're comfortable and no arms to your chair because that kind of starts to get in the way. You might find that you need to sit on the edge of the chair to be able to get in nice and close in the inner thigh muscles and the outer thigh muscles, otherwise you'll be hitting the chair. So let's begin down the center. We're just going to scan. We're going to think really tall, so that means the front of the body is staying long as we go forward. So we're going forward, just scanning for any areas of tenderness as we go just above, maybe 2 inches above the kneecap, and then back. And let's do that one more time. You might find that you've come across some speed bumps, some tender spots. We'll come back to those. All right, we're now going to scan the inner quadriceps. So I want the rolling pin on a bit of an internal angle. So we're same idea. Arms are going to stay by your side, you're going to stay long through your body, and you hinge forward from the hips. And back. Let's do it a second time, nice and slow. Good. Now when you're doing this on your own, you don't have to wait to the end to go work on all the spots. But we're just going to scan one more because I want you to wait and see which are the most tender of all these spots. And those are the ones we're going to start with. So, third position is going to be exploring the outer quadricep, which has a very close relationship with a very long fascial band called the IT band or iliotibial band. All right, so on this little outside angle, we're as high as we can be because we tend to get little trigger points way up here. And tenderness in our thigh muscles, most people don't realize, can give us knee pain. So you may never be aware until you roll your quads that your knee pain is coming from a whole different source. Doesn't mean that you don't have some arthritic changes. We all do after the age of 35. But tenderness in the muscles from overuse, from oversitting, from being a weekend warrior, from so many different things, we can have trigger points going back years and years, and they come back to haunt you. Again, not in any awareness of pain here, but pain in the knee joint itself. So until you work out these tender spots, you don't know how much of your knee pain might actually be coming from your quadriceps and not just from your knee. So now that you've explored center, inner, and outer, we're going to go find one of those tender spots. For a lot of my clients, almost everybody has an outer spot. So let's just talk about how we're going to approach the tender spots. We're going to do short strokes, about 1 inch, 2 inches at the most in length. You're going to do repeated strokes. So we're going to just repeat 6 to 12 times. And you want to go progressively firmer, but where it feels good. You don't want to go so lightly that you go, I don't feel anything at all, or I barely feel anything. And you don't want to go so hard that you're beating yourself up and you're like wincing or squinting it while you're doing this because it's just so uncomfortable. You want to go to the point where you go, oh, that feels really nice. My muscles really need this. Almost to get that purring element. You just want to go, oh, it feels so good. And I highly recommend that you keep your rolling pin or your roller that you purchase close to somewhere that you sit a lot, so it's your reminder to work on these muscles. If you do have tender spots in your quadricep, you want to go back and address these tender spots till they're all gotten rid of. So it might mean 3-4 times a day. You might go back and go, I remember feeling one, on the inside, a little higher up. And again, remembering all of your points that you used when you were exploring, that you're keeping your body long, you're keeping your arms by your side, you're literally throwing your weight around, you're throwing your weight into that rolling pin, so you're not encouraging a rounded posture or forward head posture, but really learning and reinforcing good alignment as you hinge forward and do some really nice work for your thigh muscles. And that's how you roll your quads. I'm Margaret at Guide. Thanks for joining me and have a lovely day.